other 4 heroes, they can play some like really fast-paced game. If there's gonna be a game where they win, I would say that the draft that they wanted to get in this one is probably what they like wanted to get from the game. Having Tiny IO plus Leshrac and Night Stalker, these heroes get online super fast, and they can try to overrun LGD. But then again, LGD, they also have heroes who can punch back, a lot of stuns, a lot of team fight coming out from Dark Willow and Mars. There's going to be combo later on with the Terrorize and the Arena. And he did go for the Bloodsport Faucet, which does allow him to not... they don't have the shared vision inside the Arena, so can be targeted if you want to use any kind of spell. I think it also comes down to why they picked Jakiro, so they can throw in spells blindly into your Arena. Because you're like, okay, I don't see what's going on. Jakiro with the maybe I hit the Ice Path, Macropyre to deal some damage inside of it.
Yeah, but it also, with that facet, right, like it protects maybe the IO coming in and helping out, right? Like you're kind of lonely in that arena.
Yeah, I mean, IO's just not going to have the target. So he's not going to be able to tether or relocate. Also, Mars is really good against IO overall throughout the whole game. You have like ability to break the tether, and also you have ability because IO is going to be paired up with a hero throughout the whole game. So 2-man arena is not going to be too difficult to land for new. So
definitely interested to see how Han and Sheep go about this, because I remember seeing a lot of Leshrac IOs that would just move around the map. You've got level 4 in Diabolic Edict. He'd take towers very quickly. I mean, there was the phase where Leshrac was being a support. He'd hide himself tucked away in the trees and go into the Diabolic Edict. If Dark Horse can kind of get away with it, they do have some pretty decent pressuring with tower taking, right? With the Leshrac IO movement and Liquid Fire here from Jakiro.
Yeah, you have Tiny as carry, so you're never going to lack tower damage. Again, this is a really strong draft from Dark Horse. I'm just a little worried how they're going to execute. There's going to be, of course, a lot more mistakes being made. But l'enfant, c'est l'entrée.
we practiced for 30 minutes, and that's what you give me?
It's difficult. All right, you go for it. We watched the video. We Googled. We talked about it multiple times. But apparently it is difficult to pronounce.
L'enfant, c'est l'autre is what I thought it was. All right.
You also forgot. Never mind. But yeah, Tiny as a carry in the safe lane paired up with Jakiro. It is going to be a lot of damage, a lot of early harassment. PYW, I would say this is his signature hero, Dark Willow. He's been playing this hero when the hero wasn't as strong. Having the Thorny Ticket as her faucet makes more brambles. We did nerf that in the B version. It came down from 7 seconds, I believe, down to 6. But still super strong. You create extra 4 brambles, which does allow you to cover more area. Difficult to trade against Jakiro, and also very difficult to D-ward against Jakiro because of his double trouble. So he basically attacks twice for reduced damage, but he's the best hero in the game to D-ward with.
Definitely very fun to D-ward with that hero. I would suggest it if you're supporting. And you can see those extra brambles that showed up top, the 4 extra ones right there. But yeah, I like it. I think the zone denial, especially that with like Arena, there's a lot of those big, and I feel like this is always a talk about in Dota, the big circles for LGD that are coming out.
There's going to be a lot of circles indeed. Bramble Maze, Arena, Ice Vortex to amplify some of that magic damage.
Yep.
W doing a good job zoning Jakiro, who's going to be forced to use a healing salve.
Yeah, Zen forced to back off and salve, and Tiny just doing his thing so far in lane. 6-2, not amazing on the CS, but there's 5 denies already here from Niu. He was kind of happy with that. Mid lane, let's take a look. 12-1 to the 10-1 of this Leshrac. And this is a lane where Echo shouldn't die, right?
Definitely not. This is also the lane where nowadays you can put more pressure with having that Corrosive Dragon with the Worm's Wrath. So you're applying some early damage as well. Your trading is much better, even if you're playing into a range hero. Han will start to pick up more points into Diabolic Edict later on. You want to have that pure damage. You want to have, like, if Dragonite makes a move, usually, oh, he's going to drop. So Shiro getting the first blood, good start for him. It is a killer lane in the bottom lane. We didn't talk too much about Ancient Apparition because he does have this new innate ability, Death Rhyme. When I first read that, I'm like, that's super complicated. And then after testing a couple of times and reading a few more times, I'm like, yeah, it is still complicated. But he also did go for Faucet that reduces enemy strength per Death Rhyme stack. So that's, I think that's overall the better one. And when you're playing 5, if you want to go, you know, something slightly more greedy, you go for the Cold Feet one.
You know, I definitely like the Death Rhyme edition. I think it changes Hero, but made him very strong. And Shiro couldn't run at for just a moment. And top lane also some Brambles down is in. He's okay. Not really too much happening up towards top in terms of kills just yet, but I feel like one Bramble Maze into a spear, and we could be seeing a kill on this Jakiro if he's not too careful. Especially, I know that supports do like play a little bit aggressive if there is a bottle to refill, and there it is. Brambles into a spear, and he dies, and now Jakiro can TP mid to refill the bottle of his little Shrek, right?
Yeah, he can, but this is such a powerful combo from the LGD's offlane, where you can Bramble into Spear, and then Spear into another Bramble.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of damage, a lot of control coming out from these two. Night Stalker, looking at the bottom lane, he is putting in a lot of pressure. Very difficult hero, again, to kill early on. Has tons of regions during the nighttime. Amplified by 40%. Having a Bracer, going into Phase Boots. Pretty standard stuff on the Night Stalker. Not paired up with the Killer. It's more about, you know, sustain in this lane. That's why I wanted to see a bit more aggressive position 4.
Man, Han taking a lot of damage from this DK. In melee form, too, just running at him. Magic Missile thrown at a unit. But he's fine for now. Why is Smile going 2 into the Ice Vortex? Thought maybe with Magic Missile they'd try and at least get 1 level into the Cold Feet to try and freeze over. But I guess with the regen, maybe they don't think they're going to get that kill. But I say that, Magic Missile, and they overwhelm them, so they do get that kill.
It's more about the slow, reducing magic resistance, having the extra burst damage when he is inside of Ice Vortex, applying 2 Death Rhyme stacks, reducing extra strength, so 0.5, reducing one of their strengths, so basically 20 HP, which is not too bad, I would say.
And not insignificant. They chase after the Jakiro, Spear doesn't land, and it'll be Mew not getting that kill, but hitting that level 6, and Echo immediately into the Elder Dragon form, trying to throw out the stun, lands it, so we'll pick up an amplified damage. Popping it immediately and going to the Pulse Nova, PYW comes over, but even with both supports here, LGD don't get that kill into the Shrek.
Yeah, they don't get the kill, but you can see the difference in the rotation. Dark Horse, they're not even... I mean, in this scenario, you can say, wow, these guys are so good they don't even have to rotate the supports to get the rune for their mid laner, but this could have been a disaster if LGD supports rotated slightly earlier. Would definitely be a kill. They also have the Catapult to work with in the mid lane, plus the Elder Dragon form, so would be some good damage onto the tower. Their heroes are really not good at rotating on side of Dark Horse. It's going to be more about counter-initiating, where you have like Io TPing in, popping his stick, or Jakiro TPing in, throwing the Blood Grenade, dual breath. But very sluggish supports. They can't really make a move. It's going to be more about the Night Stalker. It's going to be more about Tiny Lesh that needs to be active, and supports playing with them than the other way around.
And not really getting much. Not a lot of lockdown, too. Like, you don't even have Ice Path in the moment from Xin. This Io's not going to be giving you much lockdown. You're really kind of dependent on the Tiny throwing into an Avalanche toss into a Split Earth coming out from the Leshrac. And Cursed Crown, Spear, just throwing him onto the crystals.
Tiny's super tanky. Tiny has almost 1500 HP, level 5, with Raid Band and Power Treads and Strength, which is insane to think about. The other day, I know... Okay, I'll hold that thought. Was playing against Tiny plus ogre in the lane. Like, you just don't have enough damage to kill these two guys. Like, they get another level, they kill you once. You're like, how do we deal 2,000 damage to get a double kill? 2,000 plus early on. You just don't have enough. That's why Tiny from the safe lane is super strong. And also, his strength gives him slow resistance, and also it gives him status resistance. Early on, it's not as much, but, you know, some of these numbers get pretty high later on. Having, like, right now, he's having 11%, almost 12% slow resistance, so that's pretty nice.
Always nice to have that slow resistance, and already a 2,000 net worth lead here for the side of LGD. Looking over at bottom, Shiro's had a pretty open lane. He's almost top of the net worth. He's gone double bracer into the treads. Early raindrops for him, too.
Yeah, I want to see what he builds as his first item to get the value out of his faucet where he becomes melee.
Battle Fury. Dude,
usually is the thing.
Bramble Maze with the swap. They'll get that kill. Shiro getting himself to 3-0. This has really just been an open game for him, and though Shrek making the rotation but not getting anything out of it. And that allows DK to start to hit on this mid lane tier 1, and Dark Horse just not making rotations in a timely fashion.
I love that Dragonite can put pressure onto the towers now with his Corrosive Burm's Wrath, Corrosive Dragon, even in melee form. This overtime damage, it feels so good. Imagine not playing Yoda for, for let's say 2 years. You're like, oh man, you know what? I'm going to bang out this one chill game. And then you see the wall of text. Anything you click on is a wall of text. And then you see a lot of changes. You're like, what the hell is that? But one of the coolest patches that we've had, I would say.
Yeah, definitely added a lot to the game. Really changing things up. I mean, even to my eye, bigger than the talents getting added, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. I would say two of the biggest patches, 7.0, of course, and this one. There has been a lot of reading for analysts, I would say, where you need to like read everything, test everything out, then you forget, then you test again. They're like, oh, but I know this, and then the A version drops, and you're like, oh, but the B version also dropped, and then reverse some of the changes, change the numbers, change the fonts, change how everything works. And they're like, okay, now I don't even know anything.
Ice path down. Dual breath onto this Venge, and Curse Crown. It's going to pop, but they've got the relocate in. They'll go to the swap. That'll get Shiro out, and that might sacrifice PYW, but they go and get the arena. Neo gets a double kill on Sheep and Han. First Teleotra trying to get away from the side of LGD. Alienid is down here in the river. He'll be speared up on the wall. Curse Crown on him. They'll take out a third. LGD, I think, gets Shiro away, and don't lose anything in a fight like that.
Yeah, even with the rotation from L'Enfer Selezutra, they did not have enough. Like, he's, what, tree grab? This is the build on Tiny. One avalanche, one toss, and then max out your tree grab. Big fight from Niu. Like, he was the one who had Arcane Rune available, landed Arena onto tree. The way this started is Shiro getting a defensive swap onto himself, gets out of trouble, gets that extra shield barrier, 150, allows him to survive. And they don't lose a single hero, so still 0 on the board for the Dark Horse. They also lost the mid tower while all this was happening.
Yeah, 7-0, 6,000 net worth lead, and that first item for Shiro is looking like, well, after this Echo Saber is this Manta, so that first massive item is Manta.
Yeah, I've seen lots of Battle Furies, but I feel that Echo Saber might be a better substitution. Battle Fury could sound like a little bit of a grief. Like, why not just pick something different, something that, you know, does better with the Battle Fury? But Echo Saber feels like a nice substitution. Works on the range hero, which is Vengeful Spirit. With the faucet, makes her a melee hero. And, of course, being universal, going for Manta style feels really nice. Gives her good stats.
Seems like there's a lot of options and flex to this hero. I wouldn't be surprised to see it in more spots, right? Than just
there's, I mean, position 4/5 definitely works. I've seen a decent amount of off-lane Vengeful Spirits.
Neo? He doesn't have Blink, but he is Invis if you were to catch this Night Stalker, but kind of catching wind of it and backing away. The spider sense is tingling. Thought for a second he was just gonna walk up, spear him, and kill him, but ends up backing away and surviving. Echo, he's in the triangle. He's got that Mage Slayer early on. Double Bracer Mage Slayer for him, going into the Dragonlance afterwards, and
that's the new build. I'm really glad that Dragon is building a Dragonlance. This is something that I've been advocating about for quite some time. And it does feel nice on Dragonite, so you get like extra range. You have level 20 Elder Dragon form attack range, so that's pretty cool. And also, you don't build into Manta style anymore. It's more about the slow/status resistance, S and Y, the best out of 3, most definitely. Ever since we took away status resistance from Sanj, it just doesn't feel as good, especially on like these, I would say. So some intelligence heroes from the mid lane are still gonna buy it, but there are better substitution items now that there is no status resistance.
Right. So LGD, they go to a 3-man smoke. And bring Shiro to mid. But he's not going to join that smoke, and they might be able to stumble upon Sheep if they find him. And they see him. God's Rebuke doesn't land, but the spear will. They'll get that kill on a Sheep. PYW getting credit for that one and already pinging out for Vision. He's that Io who gets caught in the jungle.
They might play off that Vision and still be able to get maybe one more kill if they decide to stick around. Because they're going to be putting a lot of pressure onto Dark Horse in the next couple of minutes. Echoes, he's ready with his Mage Slayer, about to crack level 12. Shiro, he's second most farm hero in the game. And he's ready to fight. He's ready to join.
Spear just off the mark. I have this lane ward here that was placed recently, and it is getting them a lot of information on what LGD was doing. This sentry is actually going to time out, so this Obs will be safe in the jungle as well. And you can see Shiro just continuing to have such a free game. Not really much of a counter from the side of Dark Horse. They're trying to farm their way back into it, but they haven't gotten a kill yet, and we're 15 minutes into the game.
Maybe it is time to make something happen. You see that 0 on the top of your screen. It does affect you, definitely. If you saw at least 1 or 2 kills, you're like, okay, guys, keep farming up. We need our Tiny to be ready. Tiny did go for Echo Saber as well as his first item. Gives him mana, gives him that damage double strike, of course. I've seen Tiny's even skipping Echo Saber, especially when they have Io in the team, so you don't need as much mana early on. Io right now is playing with Leshrac. Shiro.
Might have found him. They've got the Ice Blast. They'll kill off Han. They'll look for Sheep, but he's able to relocate back to the base. At least for now. I don't think he's getting out of this one.
I think Zhao 8 told him something about whoever dies is getting pizza partied in this series.
That's a lot of pressure. This is the first round.
Gotta start strong. LGD, big name in the Dota scene. They've been missing for a while, but now they are back again. And yeah, things are looking pretty good for them. They're going on a minimap. They want to push out this top lane. In terms of damage, they do have tower damage coming up from Dragonite, of course, his Corrosive Breath, and you also have Vengeful Spirit, who's going to start to max out Vengeance Aura. Roshan could also be on the menu. The thing about Roshan is like, oh, it's a different side of the map when you're playing with the Night Stalker. You're like, oh, it's nighttime? Oh, it's daytime, actually.
I've got the arena down. Looking
There's
over at this Tiny.
In trouble.
Ice Blast. Ooh, all right. That makes connection. You're going to try and fight this. A little bit of help needed to get this kill, and he'll actually land the spear. We've got the Cold Feet looking for a high five, but that will be the hand from the grave as that last hit comes out from PYW to get the kill on the Tiny.
Yeah, and for people who are not aware, his nickname means Hell is Other People, which is from Jean-Paul's play. Very important information to know at this stage of the qualifiers, of course. Otherwise, you would not be able to know what's happening in Dota. And that's going to be his first death, but they are still yet to get a kill on board.
Merci. Thank you. Appreciate that one, Lacoste. I love the information.
You're about not in French, but I don't know how.
So, Echo just put the pressure on the mid-tier 2. He picked up that Hurricane Pike, building off that Dragonlance. And this feels like a desperation smoke coming out from Dark Horse to just get one kill, to get anything on the board. I mean, DK is not going to be the best target for you to go to.
That's not the target.
No, it is certainly not. Spear's going to connect. They got the Ice Path and the Macropyre and the Avalanche on a 3. Maybe they finally kill somebody. It's going to be the Ancient Apparition who will burn out of the Macropyre. Swap used by Shiro. They get the cut of the Tiny. They'll end up losing 2. They look for the Jakiro, make it a 3rd. And AUNI's going to try and run here. He gets behind the tier 2 tower, but at least they got one.
Yeah, and we can go back to what the Zhao 8 said, like, who's going to get pizza partied. They could have actually saved him. Shiro had swap available, decided to use it on Tiny aggressively instead of saving his position 5.
So do you get pizza partied if you didn't get saved?
No. I just think that he wanted somebody else. Like, if it's not him, then it's all good. But, yeah, getting that one kill. I thought it was going to be smoke into we get a kill, we call GG type of a play, but they're still in the game. They have the toss back for defending the high ground, not the easiest thing to execute without Blink Dagger on your Tiny. The map is getting smaller. They lost another tier 2 tower in the mid lane. Tier 2 tower top is already gone, and now they're going to close the one in the bottom. Boss also going to play the bottom part of the map, 20 minutes in. Take the enemy Tormentor, take the enemy XP rune, 21 minutes in. So Dark Horse, they need to try to stabilize. I'm just not sure if they have enough damage early on to be able to fight back.
And we talked about the draft from Dark Horse having the potential to get there, but with the laning phase that went so poorly and them being behind so quickly, it just never had time to really expand off of what they started with. So
yeah, this is not one of those draft situations where you're like, oh, we just, like, what the hell is this draft that I'm seeing on the screen? This is, like, really strong draft. I don't like Jakiro as much, but other 4 heroes, they can play some really fast-paced Dota. They can scale really well. It's just that LGD gaming, they are on a different level compared to Dark Horse, and we can see in terms of execution. And there it is, 20 minutes in. They're going to close out the last tier 2 tower. They even killed the tier 3 tower. They have more than enough damage. Go for Tormi. Perfect timings from LGD gaming.
Using that swap, making sure they don't take damage from taking that Tormentor. They'll get the shard over to PYW, so that upgrade onto the Cursed Crown, which, I mean, with the Facet, too, it just feels like Bramble Maze with Cursed Crown, and you've just got so much area denial from just Dark Willow.
Yeah, unfortunately, the shard doesn't get the extra brambles from the Bramble Maze Thorny Ticket faucet. But it's going to be a lot of area of control that you can do. Also has a perfect neutral item for it, Eye of the Vizier. And I love this build on Dark Willow. It's not anymore about the Shadow Realm, it's more about lowering the cooldown on a Cursed Crown. Now with the Shard, it takes 1 second less to be triggered, and also triggers even on upon a Dispel, which they don't have any Dispel at the moment, other than Yule Scepter on Jakiro. But yeah, very powerful Shard.
Yeah, I like that Shard. I with Dark Willow getting picked up more, definitely
she's gonna be one of the
S-tier,
like, highest contested position 4s, I would say. If nothing changes coming into TI, in the TI qualifiers, this hero is gonna be either banned or picked. Pretty much the hero does. Like, one of the biggest changes to the hero was allowing Bedlam to be used on your allies. Same goes for Winter Wyvern, where the hero is much more picked nowadays, on top of the other changes, of course. Like, you can use Splinter Blast on your allies. There's going to be a lot of times where someone's isolated and you don't have anything to use Splinter Blast on, so that's really nice. And of course, for Dark Willow, you don't need to rush in and just, like, kill yourself with the Bedlam like you need to do before to be able to get the damage done.
Yeah, it was definitely, you were seeing the rise of the change to Bedlam because you had those tanky offlaners that you could just throw it on, but you're right, like, this hero is just going to be so contested with one of the better changes on a toolkit, I would say, coming out of both patches, right?
Yeah, definitely. Very high quality improvement in terms of how you're going to execute. This Deep Observer is scouting things out, so if they want to get a good jump, they could go for it. BKB now available on Niu, so he doesn't need to care about the enemy damage whatsoever. Jumps in. Also, that damage is going to be reduced for a jump.
Yeah, looking for a blink potentially on Aenid. Definitely the thought there, and they could just take this Rax. Another Macro Pyre laid down and try and clear up the creep so they could get backdoor protection to come back on. But
yeah, look at that Macro Pyre, bro. It's killing off the Vengeful Spirit Illusions.
Yeah, but didn't
that's
get
about
those creeps. Yeah. A bit early to be getting those creeps, and unfortunately that means they lose the bottom set of Racks. Like, it's just that easy, and it forces the side of Dark Horse into this fight. Arena's used, and you flew into this, and now you're not going to be able to get out. Ice Path comes down, but it doesn't matter. They take out the Night Stalker so quickly. They're going to try and turn this around. They've got themselves a swap. Avalanche hits onto this Ancient Apparition of Why You Smile. The right clicks are going to be enough to finish him off. Yes, it will be. They'll double their kill score to 2, but it is 17-2. It is a 20,000 net worth lead, and with that, they'll call GG. LGD takes game number 1.
Yeah, as expected, LGD, they are on a different level when it comes down to execution. Pretty much a perfect game. Ancient Apparition only 2 times, but super strong. Play some Morphling mid if it's like that good of a game for it, but 99% you will play Shadowfin from the mid lane. And now I want to see what they're going to do with it, because I think this is extremely difficult to execute. And then again, on side of LGD, you have 2 strong lanes. This is, like, if you look at the hero pairings, Weaver plus Treant Protector, very
Great
old
lane.
school. Then you have Centaur plus Hoodwink, another great lane, and the casual Leshrac mid. So we can check some of the faucets that has been picked up. Shadow Fiend, of course, playing that mid Shadow Fiend, did go for Shadowmire. So more slow, actually slow on his Shadow Raises. And then EBB or Ebb on Morphling. I didn't know, I thought that was short for something. I didn't know that was...
water has its ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
I got you. Skitter step. Also, I want to know how many under how many kills Dark Horse get from last game. Over 2 or under 2?
They get more kills this game for sure. They have repositioning tools. They have swap. They have Tiny with the toss. They have early magic damage from Gyrocopter. Maybe some like Requiem kill, but definitely more.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to that. Hold you to that over. If it is under, you owe me a coaching session. Tell me why I'm so bad at this game.
I'll give you 5 minutes. It's all I need. I tune into the game. I'm like, man, what the hell are you doing with your item? What is that skill? Why are you there on the map? No, it's gonna be more PMA. Like, we need to do this instead of being, why did you do that? We're gonna focus on the things that we can improve instead of talking about the bad things that did happen.
Okay. So we're seeing 3 lanes, 2 eyes. Always my favorite part of the game when we see all this. Okay. That was Leech Seed. Yeah, the Why You Smile Leech Seed went from bottom lane all the way to top, so it just creeped across the map. I wasn't sure what that was for a second, but I saw it come all the way across. And of these 3 lanes, which one will be most successful for each team?
I would say top lane for LGD Gaming. They are not going to have trouble surviving that one. Tiny with the tree crab.
Zin? He's in trouble. With that blood grenade, PYW doesn't have Acorn Shot for 8 more seconds. But they kind of gave up on it.
He's going to run him down because he does have the tree bounce trick shot, so we will hit him twice and kill him off.
Oh, 1.
Oh, the neutrals. Never mind.
Gets lucky. Or skillful.
With the Blightstone, it's definitely enough damage to kill him off there.
It was pretty close. And then top lane, looks like it could be a killer lane, right? Obviously, you take True Throw 1, so you don't have like Avalanche Toss with it, but we've seen how strong Magic Missile and a little Wave of Terror can do.
It is a lot of right-click damage from Tiny, definitely, but Treant Protector is... Oh, Zin. He just wanted to die. He's like, yeah, I got to get it out of the system.
I need to give up this first blood. I need to come back with full health, full mana. Get me out of here. Also, going back to something we talked about in game number 1, I would say, again, LGD have supports that could come over mid. Maybe not so much Y, but PYW, with Bushwhack and Acorn Shot, you can really make a lot happen.
Yeah, definitely he can make a rotation. Ooh, look at that speed from Jin with his afterburner. And extra movement speed, pretty cool.
I do like it. A little extra on the rocket barrage, especially when that's something that you're going to be putting a lot of points in. This gyro support, you do go for that rocket barrage damage, but you're not going to kill somebody like Centaur with something like that, especially he's already got 2 bracers.
Top, like this bottom lane for them is, if they try to go on you, you basically run away. They have nothing to stun you with. That's why, you know, Gyrocopter, when he's paired up with some kind of a slow Morphling, is just not enough damage early on. He needs a couple of levels.
Just looking like the laning stage is kind of going the same way again, right? Like Shiro's having a free game. He's happy with that. You've got Echo over mid, who's already top of the CS as well. Top lane, it's taking some damage here with the Leech Seed, and Tiny, best he could do is an Avalanche.
I mean, in this lane, he should be able to grab the Treant Protector and just throw him away. He can basically do that once he picks up the toss.
Oh, I thought you meant with Tree Grab, he should be able to just pick him up. That would be quite the interaction.
Throws him out of the game.
Or you should be able to at least get the branch that you hold at any time from Tree Protector. Bottom lane, that was close in getting that kill onto the Morphling, and there was also an attempt to go for the Hoodwink. Hoodwink surviving with a little bit of health, I believe maybe a Blood Grenade also thrown from Xin on that too, so. Not quite getting the damage out there on a PYW, and like you said, they just can't hold these heroes down. Bushwhack comes in, they've got the double edge, hoof stomp follow-up. They'll have a double edge in 1 second, won't even need it to get the kill on his in, and Niu taking some damage here as the aggression from this Morphling will be onto the Centaur, but with not a lot of damage. This is, again, LGD just tanky enough and strong enough, knowing everything they can get out of this lane.
Very limited amount of damage they can throw. Waveform is
Bushwhack
better now. Woo! Just burst it down. 406 HP on the Morphling. When you're playing against Centaur, getting into that melee range, in range of that stun, gotta be careful.
I can't be aggying like Fly over here, so unfortunately he is going to be dead, and PYW again taking some damage here, but how do you hold this squirrel down? Has 9 charges on the wand. Nothing to really turn around with, but we'll walk it away. Interesting that that ping that came out had the Aster logo on it.
I miss Aster.
Same.
Academy team as well. Always fighting during the DPC for survival, no matter what happens. Always.
Aster and Aster Ares?
Yeah, always 7th place. Then they get lucky. They somehow manage to sneak in. Something happens. Suddenly they're staying in Div 1. And Neo in the bottom lane is now creep skipping. He's like, yeah, there's nothing they can't do to me. Has 2 points from Retaliate. Going into Blade Mail. This is the new tech build on a Centaur. He's not as tanky as he was before. We did reduce his Rawhide, his innate ability. Instead of 40, he's getting 35 every 2 minutes.
Games go late, all of a sudden you've got a whole bunch of health, but for right now, 1,500 is certainly enough, and he's going in. When you don't have to buy boots, it feels pretty good. You just go into that Blade Mail and reflect everything back. He's also getting close to having that level 6, so they'll have that Stampede to either engage with or disengage with, and it does give you even more options for the side of LGD in terms of what they want to go to and how comfortable they feel doing it. So it does leave Morphling to CS under the tower and try and get that done, but it also, you know, they're trying to do that while Shiro has completely had free farm up top.
Shiro sitting at 47 and 10. Shadow Fiend is definitely up there, 45 CS on him, but he's been using some of the consumables, bringing extra mangoes, extra clarity, so he can continue to use the Shadow Ray spam. Requiem available now.
pretty much even with this Leshrac in terms of net worth, and they'll start to do some damage onto the tier 1 tower, something they really weren't able to do in game number 1 up against that DK. Once they lost that tier 1 mid, they weren't able to really put any pressure on the towers from the side of Dark Horse. News here, PYW, they've got level 6. They do have Stampede, but in spotting them, he starts to shift over into that strength and has enough health to survive that double edge. So he's working with a decent amount of health as they'll start to shift Agi again, and they are starting to roll towards bottom on the side of Dark Horse.
What is this? Like, I just want to double check to see if I'm seeing correctly. Morphling is going for Lincoln Sphere in this game. And there is nothing, not a single spell in this game other than like Lightning Storm Double Edge that you need to be careful about. I don't like, this is just, I think he's autopiloting in most of the times, especially in China scene. Morphlings did go for Lincoln Sphere as their first item ever since the item was introduced into the game, pretty much. But yeah, I really don't see the value going for this item. Sure, it gives you some extra mana regen early on and HP, but you can get that from Mask, a Falcon Blade, a Null Talisman, whatever you want to purchase, and it will still have better impact. And then you can build into Yasha, which builds much faster than the Ulti Orb, and same again. Gonna drop 4-0 for LGD Gaming.
And PYW getting credit for that kill, and right now holding on to boots as well as that Blightstone and 800 gold. So we'll see what the direction is for PYW. We used to see very greedy Hoodwink, so I'm wondering if we continue to see that. They land the Bushwhack, heavy in the Agi again, and Morphling's dead once more.
Yeah, because he didn't have the Lincoln Sphere 9 minutes into the game. Swap. Can they get a kill on Y here?
They're trying to
like it.
Avalanche, but Why You Smile is so tanky. Has that Leech Seed at level 3. They throw
on
up the
with the haste rune.
And
Oh, he got bushwhacked.
Oh, they're going to get the kill on a Han. Taking out the Shadow Fiend. Now looking towards the rest. The Shikuchi, the damage is going to be there if they want to clean up the rest. Ooh, throws him right onto the Gyrocopter. Shiro gets that one. They're looking for more. They want to continue to get the Tiny. Avalanche thrown, but PYW with a bushwhack landing, and it is 8-0 for LGD. They are really just running through Dark Horse.
Yeah, Han solo attempt to try to go for a kill with the haste rune, gets bushwhacked. PYW is really on point. Like, he's landing these bushwhacks without having his faucet that gives him cast range, because Scurry doesn't provide you with the cast range anymore by default. And there it is. They're going in again.
Yeah, Han just respawned, and they're going to bring in everybody to try and stop this. There's the Overgrowth, looking for the Requiem. They've got the swap, but once again, now the Avalanche. The Requiem lands. They might be able to get the kill onto this Hoodwink. UIW falls, but they'll lose Aeonid, and here comes Shiro looking to clean up. He is not afraid of fighting. They're going to stampede on top of everybody on Dark Horse. They're bringing out the saddles because they're looking to break this Dark Horse team as they will run down Han. He is going the wrong direction. He will finally fall. They'll get another kill onto the Shadow Fiend. They look over at Why You Smile, who's left alone. Eventually, he will die, and they will equal their Game 1 kill total.
Ooh, good predictions for me. I said they're going to have more kills, but this game is going to be faster. So I think they're going to battle it out more, try to get something more done. And this is what I love about Shiro, that the guy is always joining the fights. Like, he's getting involved early on. He is playing a hero that has max movement speed, even more than max movement speed, having 600 max movement speed. And then allows him to rotate to the map. LGD bringing the numbers.
And not afraid of going in early. He has that early Falcon Blade. He's going into the Maelstrom next. Like, he knows that the team is powerful. He senses it in every which way. So this is a rough life for the Venge. Swarm on him, a couple right clicks, and he is just forced under tower.
Yeah, very difficult game for him. Something we didn't talk about is this Tiny combo that they have. I'm not talking about the Tiny as a hero combo, but Leech Seed plants a tree when you cast it. So you will have Bushwhack into Leech Seed combo. Even if you cut down that tree, it regrows again. So that's pretty cool for the Leech Seed.
And he's got it level 3. And you could tell in those early fights that, you know, the Leech
It's
Seed
doing
is
so
no
much.
joke. Yeah. Has those arcane boots. It's a build for Hoodwink. Also going Maelstrom, so anything Shiro can do, I can do too.
Slower,
PYW.
but pretty much you will get there. Once you finish off that Maelstrom, you take 2 good fights. You're gonna have
Bushwhack?
oh, another
Yeah,
Bushwhack. They're
they
gonna
caught him
snipe
full
him.
agi. Oy, this Lincoln's isn't gonna stop that.
No, that's why I don't like the item here. It makes no sense to buy Lincoln's here.
All smiles for Neo. I definitely love the different ranges in webcams, by the way. We just went from Neo, who's as close to the webcam as possible, over to the next one, and it was as far away as possible.
And then Shiro's
And then
camera,
Shiro's
it's always
just
his
in it.
forehead.
He's just like right there. Oh my gosh. They're coming over with a smoke. That's going to break. Oh, Han. That is not a good spot to be in. Bushwhack connects. They're going to get this kill. He'll throw it to Requiem in death, but this is all problems for the side of Dark Horse again. Running away with the Rocket Barrage, having that extra speed, but the
Snipes him.
Sharpshooter lands. Going for the call down, but it won't matter. That's another kill. 13-2 for LGD. Y is
Looking
close to
through
his
it.
cam, too.
Very
Everybody-
important to talk about because the game looks very one-sided again. 9k gold lead for LGD Gaming. And they're
Yeah.
already invading enemy triangle. Observer ward placed down. It's out of the center range where you usually place it. Ooh. Neo is going to start to chase them. Has that Blink Dagger available, and this should be another tower for LGD Gaming. Already killed all tier 1 towers.
They're still looking. Painted. Swarm on them, but immediately the TP comes through. Avalanche, they might get their third. Requiem, and there it is. So they get the over, but now, is this game going to be over for them as they get quick damage on Han once again? They'll get another kill. They'll focus their attention on Azin. Ooh, the stun for the Morphling morphed into the Leshrac. They're trying to get Echo, who's running away. Morphling, though, stunned up.
He's not
via
shifting
Mew.
yet.
They get the kill on Azin. They'll take out a third. They'll look for a fourth. Now this is going to be the Morphling versus the world. And they will team wipe the side of Dark Horse. They'll
GG.
call GG, and it's a 15-minute victory for LGD.
What did I predict, B-Cop, in this game that's going to happen?
Over in kills. I just lost my my coaching session.
And I said the game's going to end faster than
Very
the previous
fast.
one. And